Morning world, la 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 la. We're going live. Welcome everybody. Good morning world. We are live. La 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 la. Good morning world. We're live. La la la. We're going live. We're going live. La la la. Good morning everybody. Welcome to the program. My name is Mark Visconti. Good morning, everybody. How you doing? August 29. The summer is almost over here in the United States, where it's cold most of the time. 6 months out of the year, you get the cold, and then you look forward to the warmth come April, May, and then by August, you start to see it fade away into coldness again. I mean, real cold, like zero and fucking snow, right? And that's necessary. It's good for the body, actually. It's good for the body to go through temperature changes, just like plants, right? Plants do better outside in the dirt because they're exposed to the constant swing in temperature. Body is the same. Try not to stay too warm or too cold. When it's cold out, go outside and be cold for a little while, and then naturally warm yourself up, and vice versa. When it's hot, naturally cool yourself down. Right? By jumping in ice tubs. Good morning, everybody. How you doing, man? Welcome everybody. Vinny D. Martini in the house. Weevil Girls here as well. Born Vicarious. Hello. And everybody else who's is lurking this morning. We're going to talk about a few things. There's a report on the sniper gun. Matthew Thomas Crook's gun has been, a photo has been revealed by the FBI. It looks like a standard AR-15 rifle. It looks like 3 inches of the fucking thing that goes under your arm got blown out because they suspect that was one of the counter sniper's bullets. That not the headshot. They took the snipers took 2 shots at him, and one apparently both hit. One hit the gun, and the other hit him in the head. And so we'll look at the gun for whatever reason it is, and the age-old. I feel like almost the era of Socrates, right? The great prophets of the past who told us that if we could just exercise a little bit and eat just enough to stay alive, we would have found the way to optimal health, right? Just eat a little bit and exercise regularly. Keep your body moving, and that would be that would eliminate, in my view, 90% of the degenerative diseases that we're seeing all around us. But instead, we have arguably it's not even arguable at this point, a medical industrial complex that is profiting from everything from food additives to chemicals, and the point is that the medical profession has a deep interest in keeping people sick. Maybe not keeping them sick. That's kind of defamatory to say, but certainly they make a profit. We can say that the medical profession profits from sickness. They don't profit from health. Right? And that's a truth. Right? That's not that's not a theory, right? And the solution has always been to throw medications at the problem. Right? We have a pill for this. We have a pill for that. Oh, you have blah 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 blah, and we have a couple of pills for you, right? And it turns out that the simplest things like clean water, sleep, exercise, proper intake of food, not highly processed garbage. Go to the farmer's market, gather your food. These are the ways to health. Go outside and exercise at least once a day. Some people exercise twice a day, but at least a 30-minute blowout a day. Right? These are tried and true. Treat the body as one. Right? Don't go to some quack doctor because he's a fucking eye, ear, and nose specialist. What about the rest of the body? Right? Do you ever go to a doctor and tell him you got an earache and he looks at you like, well, I don't know anything about the fucking ear. I'm just here for general health. Well, no, my ear, I have a clogged ear. Why are my ears clogging? Or something similar, right? Where doctors they're so special. They specialize in such special things that they don't even they don't take the body. That's the fatal flaw of Western medicine, is that they don't take the body as a whole. There's never a mention really of, well, I would say never a mention of meditation, calming one's mind and calming one's body. The ability to do that is not widely known and or accepted in the West, in our culture. But they have incredible benefits to it, or things like regular exercise. No doctor ever told me you need to exercise. Nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever said, you go to the doctor and it's just, I guess there's no sickness here. We'll just wait until you're sick. Come back in a year. Right? Oh, by the way, we want to go up your ass and check for colon cancer with no symptoms or no anything. Right? So these are all things that we've known, about health. And there is a tremendous trap out there for most people. It's ignorance. I guess I have the luxury of having worked in hospitals and have pursued a bachelor's degree in nutrition many, many years ago, almost 35, 40 years ago. Syracuse University, did a little medical work for a while until I realized I wasn't helping anybody. I was a clinical dietitian walking around in hospitals, the nutrition expert. And nobody ever listened. You had no way of influencing medical policy at all. It was because, again, the industries are controlled by it's profit. Right? These are profitable industries. And this is not health. Right? Your health is how you sleep, how you engage the world in the morning when you wake up, how much water do you drink, how much direct exposure to the sun do you have, right? And your sense of relaxation. This is really what health is about. And so that's what I want to talk about today, and I'm going to back it with evidence, right? So we got some weird elections. Kamala Harris, we have a presidential election coming up. Kamala Harris, could you imagine, is actually saying that Trump's border wall is a good idea, and they're now lobbying for money to get it? Could you imagine that, Kamala Harris? And now the Democrats, and I have evidence of this, the Democrats are telling the Democratic people, their voter base, that Trump didn't want the border wall, and that it's hard to believe that people would actually believe this after Trump has been saying build a wall for fucking 10 years. They're now saying that Trump blocked the fucking building of the wall, the money. It's so ridiculous, right? And Kamala Harris and the Democrats were always for it. Right? What a lie. What a lie to tell your people. And if I guess if people are blind enough to believe it, what can you do? Right? What can you do but kindly explain to them? No. Trump was the originator of a border control. Build a wall. It's not that big of a deal. Do walls work? I don't know. They work both ways. They work at keeping people out and keeping people in. So we'll look at some of the border controversy, and we'll look at the gun. That's the actual gun, by the way, in the photo there. Not with the writing. That the writing appears to be the FBI penciling in data, but you could see over here on the handle, the thing that goes under your shoulder is like a huge. People who know guns, you'll see a huge chunk. It could have been broken. Maybe. I mean, if the thing was under his arm, it's hard to say that the bullet hit the gun. Right, right, and it was only one. We never saw the body. The body got cremated, so they fucking stashed the body How many bullet holes were in the body? We'd love to know, right? But that's the gun with a 3-inch chunk of the handle blown out. And so we'll talk about the gun. We'll talk about Camilla. And we'll talk about these wild elections. My name is Marcus Conte. And every morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 great days in the United States of America. Every one of these mornings at 9 a.m., come join us in the live show. These are live people here, real people. Zoot Suit Cooters here, Vinny DiMartini, Weevil Girl, Jim Gerard is here, and everybody else. Born Vicarious is here as well. Everybody, these are champs. These are all people. Church's Maximum Chicken is here. And everybody else is lurking. You're welcome to come down and join us on these days at 9 a.m. Or you can watch the reruns on YouTube right here, or Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Truth Social, or wherever else you consume social media. I try to post the links all over the place. And I hope you would too, spread the word. This is, we're living in a time of deep censorship. Tulsi Gabbard, I'm going to show you a clip of her on Hannity, and she's telling you that she's still on a fucking terrorist watch list. Tulsi Gabbard, right? The woman who was going to give the keynote address for Bernie Sanders, right? If Bernie would have had his way, is on the terrorist watch list. The terrorist watch list. Incredible, right? Because she's lobbying against the Democrats, so they put her on a watch list, the terrorist watch list. And there's a logic to that. The alphabet agencies will say, well, they'll say this. They'll say, well, she is actively working against us, the Democratic establishment. Therefore, she herself might not be a threat, but she can be influenced by people who want to disrupt our politics. See, she's advocating disrupting our politics by changing the presidency from Democrat to Republican. So therefore, she's a threat to us. So we'll put her on a terrorist watch list, right? And if any of the imaginary foreign adversaries contact her, we'll throw her in fucking jail. Right? That's what we do. Sick thinking. Has that ever happened in American history? Has that ever happened where a beloved politician, war veteran, became a fucking diplomatic traitor? What kind of bullshit is that? It's a bullshit fucking argument. But nonetheless, Tulsi Gabbard is on the watch list. I'm going to talk about this. Tucker Carlson interviewed these two people, Callie and Casey Means. Don't know much about them, but they're not saying anything that I've never heard before or knew, or things that haven't been said. That they're not saying things that haven't been said for the last 50 years, dating all the way back to the 60s. Adele Davis, the nutrition researchers. But here's Tucker Carlson interviewing. This is interesting.
What do you eat? What don't you eat?
The number one thing that people need to understand is we need to stop eating ultra-processed food. Every Sunday, after I go to the farmer's market, I lay out all the foods, and I lay it all out on my counter, and I literally pray with it. This is awe-inspiring to me. This is all the atoms and the molecules that over the next week or two are going to make up my cells. They are going to become me. I am going to take on the characteristics of this food. I look at that food, and if I stop and let myself trust my intuition, I know this food is healthy for me. I just know it. To answer your question, what makes me feel good? It's the freshest, most beautiful foods that I have complete and utter awe for, because those molecules and atoms are going to go into my body. They're going to heal anything that's going wrong. They're going to change my
See, Tucker Carlson's fucking eye popping, right? She's a little extreme. She's talking about praying to her food. But the essence, the content of what she's saying is amazing. We'll look at more of this interview in a second, towards the end. I have it queued up. We'll hear more from Callie and Casey, but is this really shocking what she's saying, that you are what you eat? Of course. No, it's not shocking. Of Of course, it's true.
Expression, they're going to fortify my immune system. They're going to feed my microbiome, which makes 95% of my serotonin, which lets me think and have creative ideas and love my partner. It's going to be my partner and my bodies and my future children's bodies, right? I am in awe and reverence of food. I bless it because it's going to become me.
I do think you're going to change the world. I mean that. What do you eat? What do-
Tucker, she's changing the world, but really, I mean, this is all you are saying. A young, pretty, ambitious woman who's proving it to herself, saying that you are what you eat, is not new. Right? These are not new findings, but we're going to talk more about that in a second. But let's look at Kamala Harris on the border wall, right? She called it a vanity project for years. Oh, it's fucking stupid. It's Trump's vanity project. Listen to it.
And the idea that we would have a president of the United States that vilifies immigrants, that wants to build what I call his vanity project, a multi-billion-dollar wall, which, by the way, will never get built. You cannot hold the American people hostage over your vanity project.
On the subject of transnational gangs, let's be perfectly clear. The president's medieval vanity project is not going to stop them.
The president at this point is holding the American people hostage over his vanity project.
Amazing.
It's absolutely the height of irresponsibility that this administration is holding them and the American public hostage over the president's vanity project. Because I was a prosecutor for many years, including the Attorney General of California. I specialize on transnational criminal organizations.
Yeah.
That wall ain't gonna stop them. We don't need
That wall ain't going to stop them.
a multi-billion-dollar wall. That wall ain't gonna stop them. Let me be very clear. I'm not going to vote for a wall under any circumstances. Harris.
Wait, what was the quote? What did she say? The Trump. This is the tweet. Trump's border wall is just a stupid use of money. I will block any funding for it. And that was 2017, April 21, 2017.
Circumstances.
Harris said that she supports the bipartisan border bill, which...
And now all of a sudden, if she's elected, Kamala Harris pledges to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on the wall along the southern border, a project she once opposed and called un-American during the Trump administration. My, how times have changed.
includes requiring the Trump border wall.
Weevil Girl says a vanity project while she wears pearls. I bet the pearls are real. Is she wearing pearls? Those are pearls. Let's see. Her pearlies. She's wearing pearls. I didn't notice. I don't notice her. Oh, yeah. Some fake pearls. So that's Kamala Harris. Here's the race. You cannot make it up. This is Real Clear Politics. Latest polling in Pennsylvania. It looks like Trump has moved up again. Trump was down by like 7 or 8. He was up and then he was down. Now it looks like it's flat again, slightly up, less than a percentage point, right? Margin of error. So that's even in Pennsylvania. Wisconsin, Harris by a 1 percentage point within the margin of error. Arizona, also Trump up by 0.2 within the margin of error. All 3 swing states are basically a fucking dead heat. General election, Trump versus Harris versus Kennedy versus Stein. Look, if this is true, if this general election poll is true, and Robert F. Kennedy was harnessing 5% of the vote, that 5%, I don't see how it doesn't go to Trump, or doesn't go at all. Even if Trump picks up 1 or 2 points off of that 5, Trump's the winner, right? Stein doesn't even get a percentage, and Cornel West, 2 people that I love. I like listening to Cornel West. A little less of Jill Stein, but Cornel West is an extremely interesting, entertaining guy, professor from Princeton, but only polling less than a percentage point. So the latest polls do show that the election is tightening. It has Harris up the general aggregated poll, combination of all of them. Harris slightly up, less than 2 percentage points within the margin of error. And Kennedy, he's still polling at 5%, even though he dropped out. He was polling much higher. And so these are the latest. All 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Right? These are all Fox News reporting. Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, they have Harris slightly by 1 or 2 points. North Carolina, Trump by 1. Arizona, Harris by 1. Georgia, Harris 2. Nevada, Harris 2. North Carolina, Trump 1. So polls are definitely tightening, no doubt about it. And but Kamala Harris is still out there lying and cheating. Listen to this. Look at this. Tulsi Gabbard on the says Kamala Harris is lying through her teeth, and they put me on the terrorist watch list. Unbelievable.
Here was reaction 2020 presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard. By the way, you're not on the terror watch list any longer, are you, Tulsi? Another shocking story as well. I hope.
Terror watch list. Terror. They put her on the terror watch list. What the fuck are you talking about?
That's all resolved.
She's a war veteran. She's a war veteran, an ex-congresswoman, and a political pundit. She's a terrorist? Terror watch list? Tulsi Gabbard? Are you fucking kidding me?
Unfortunately, Sean, I wish I could say the same, but it has not been resolved. I've been informed that the targeting package that the TSA created for me when they put me on the secret domestic terror watch list is still operational. Domestic terror. Oh, they changed it. Oh, she's a domestic terror watch list.
That is insane, and we'll stay on that case as well. All right,
that's how you treat it. If you don't think that censorship is real, if you don't think that when someone like me tells you that I have no control over the censoring on this platform, I get chopped constantly. Believe me what I'm saying. That's only a minor version of it. The bigger you get, they put you on a watch list, and that's grounds for someone coming to knock on your door and ask you questions about your behavior, right? And if you slip up or you fall into the category, some ridiculous category of concern, right? If you fall into the parameter of certain behavior, these quacks can deem you a domestic terrorist. Like, who did you talk to? Did the guy across the streets from Iran, have you ever spoke to him? Crickets. That guy over there with the headgear, the woman wearing the headdress, she's an Arab. Have you ever gone to tea with her? Right, things like that they'll ask you. Do you even know her name? So Tulsi Gabbard's, it's like all of us are on thin ice. You got to be careful in this country, or just vote the people that are there out. Right? Vote this hysterical, broken, emotional, pool of crackpots now saying that we're promoting joy in America. You got to get rid of these people. Joe Biden is on fucking vacation for the last 2 weeks. He's on the beach in Delaware. He doesn't give a shit about anything anymore. And the Democrats have, a running roughshod over the government right now, promoting their further ridiculous ideas. Quickly, this is the gun. This is the backpack. This is Thomas Crook's stuff, right? The backpack, the gun. How the fuck did this kid get this gun out of the bag, assemble it, and fire off 8 shots at Trump? How did that happen? He had bombs in his trunk. Bombs, right? These are auto-detonated bombs, remote bombs, in his trunk of his car, right? And how did he build this shit without being no detection, no fucking nothing? Right? Is it possible to build bombs without anybody knowing you're doing it by buying the fucking materials? I don't know. I don't know. It sounds odd, right? So there's the gun. As I said earlier, there's a 3-inch chunk of I don't know what this is called, the shoulder piece. It looks like it's blown out. It could just be a broken gun. The guy's not a rich guy. He might have dropped it, right? Or something. Who knows? But they got the gun, and he was 130. Above Butler's showgrounds, he perched his rifle some 130 yards. I've seen. There's a lot of confusion as to how far away the shot was. I've heard as little as 50 feet, but it looks like I'll say that this is true. 130 yards. It's a little further than a football field away. Hard shot if you're not a shooter. and hit the president in the ear. And so that's it. I don't know what to say about it. That is the gun. They have the gun. Will it go into a museum someday, or do we get to cross-examine the gun? I don't know. But they got the gun. Fucking, it's very suspicious, the whole thing. So back to health. Let's talk about it. It's ironic and not surprising that there's so many things that lead to chronic disease. Right? Stress on the body is one of them. And a good way to stress yourself out is to not sleep properly, right? AKA your mind is so busy, and you put your head down on the pillow at 12 o'clock midnight or 11 o'clock instead of, a better hour like 9:30 or 10. But say you're up till 1 o'clock because you got so much shit to do, and it's wheeling around in your head, and then you try to put your head on the pillow, and you got to be to work at 6 a.m. Ding, the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. And that shit is spinning in your head all night, keeping you up, right? And you don't sleep, right? So, and these types of stressors on the body, sleep, inadequate sleep, 20% increases your risk of heart disease by 20%. Right? This guy clutching his heart. And so they're saying that exercise, where's the statistic? New research finds that people who catch up on their Z's on the weekends, can cut their risk of heart disease by up to 20%. Just sleeping. Right? So what does that say about good food? Right? Good food is like, 80%. You got almost a 90% chance of not getting heart disease if you eat well, by eliminating the processed garbage, right? Highly processed foods, like people eat that, solely, right? A hamburger from McDonald's, it's garbage, right? It's not real food. Right? Real food, when you go to the farmer's market and you see the things growing out of the ground, I think this has to be explained again to Americans. Americans, the food that you're supposed to eat grows out of the ground. There are eggplants and tomatoes and cucumbers and all kinds of green leafy vegetables that you're supposed to eat, right? And fresh apples from the tree. You eat these things and you promote health, and you wash it down with water because it's contained in the product. It's already in it. So you're eating this good food and it absorbs into your body, and you don't wash it down with ice cream or beer. You wash it down with water, right? And you don't smoke a pack of cigarettes after you do that. Right? So we have to explain a lot of these things to people, and exercise a little bit, right? Move around. Instead, most people are grasping their heart. The fucking chronic disease in this country is off the charts. Children with fucking disease. Right, vaccine disease, or whatever disease, shot disease. Why are kids, this incredibly high number of sudden autism, right? Suddenly children are fucking sick. Right? Why? That's never been the case. What is going on, right? It's got to be, it's environment. It's something that you're giving the fucking kid that's making him sick. Right? It's not the isolated case. Oh, this one kid got sick. No, it's a population of people are getting sick. What else can we find out here? So sleep, right? Researchers followed participants for 14 years, monitoring health and death records for cardiac disease, right, including heart failure and atrial fibrillation and stroke. The team found that those who logged the most compensatory sleep were 19% less likely to develop heart disease. All right, so that's a epidemiological study. What's the moral of the story is you got to fucking sleep. If you don't know how to shut your mind off to sleep, and or you don't have enough time because you didn't pencil in enough time to sleep, then you got to change those patterns, right? You got to sleep. You got to feel rested. You got to, right? So obvious, right? So here's the study, catching up on sleep on the weekends. So we'll do this. Here's the Kenyans, my heroes. These are my heroes, by the way. The Kenyan people. These you're looking at some of the best runners. This is morning running drills in Kenya. These are speed drills, by the way, but this is how you do it. No equipment. The only equipment are the shoes, and they're all wearing good ones. Right? They're not wearing cheap shoes. They're all wearing fucking Nike, Adidas, Saucony. But the point is, even the good shoe is not going to save your ass. You got to do the exercise. So these are speed exercises. These people probably ran 10K already. They probably ran 10 miles or 5 miles to warm up to do this for an hour and a half. But you talk about, I don't know why I'm watching this. I'm just fascinated by the it's also rhythmic. Not everybody, but essentially the Kenyan exercises are done to the rhythm. Right? They're done to the rhythm. If you want to run fast, this is how you run fast. Right? And all the technology in the world can't change that. Right? All the equipment, all of the newfangled injections and medications and pseudoscience doesn't change that you put your shoes on and you jump up and down right? and learn how to strengthen your body on a daily basis. That's what works. Right? I love this stuff, man. I'm starting to do it. Right? I'm starting to not this video, but I just found this video today. But you can see some of the exercises, sideward jumping jacks. So the Kenyans know how to do it. They're doing it. They're doing it. Or you could wait around and like this guy, he had Parkinson's disease. Look at this guy. He's a mess. Poor guy, right? It's a poor guy. He's in his early 50s, and he got some Parkinson's disease, and this is what he's got. Right? This is his life now. Now he takes a new drug, and some newfangled drug that's he's got a drug pack on. See, look at this. Look at the money spent here. Look at this. See that pack on the side of his on the side of his waist? That's a medical pack, right? It's got stuff in it. It's got like medicine in it, right? And there's a hose that pushes it right into your body regularly, right? A constant infusion, like an IV drip, right? This is what the medical profession has put up for Parkinson's disease. Can you imagine how much money it costs to develop and or maintain something like this? A lot of money. I don't know if there's a cure for Parkinson's or why it happens, but if you lived 50 years without it and suddenly this kind of nervy, jerky reaction starts to happen, there's something that you're doing that's causing it, or something that you did is causing it. And I would argue that it's 100% reversible, right? If you feed somebody in this condition, right, a simple vegan diet twice a day, exercise, sleep, meditate, I would guarantee that there would be no Parkinson's. I guarantee it that would eliminate the symptoms to almost nowhere, to undetectable. That's my belief. Now, I don't know that to be true. All I know is my own experience that my grandfather died of a heart attack. My heart disease is in my family, and I don't show any signs of it. At least I don't think I did. All right, so the point I'm trying to make is that the medical profession, while not looking at the reason why the guy has Parkinson's disease, they don't care. They're not interested. They don't understand why. They don't look at why. Why? What good is to know why? What we have to do is fix it now that it's broken. Right? So that's what the medical profession is trained to do. They fix things that are broken. Right? And like a broken leg. In some cases, you would want that. Right? You break your leg and someone would fix it for you. But as far as spending your whole life eating garbage and clogging your fucking heart, right? And then going to a doctor and saying, help me. You're an expert. You're a cardiologist. You're a heart expert. Help me. They can't help you. They can't help you. They can go in, they can cut your chest open and remove a clog. They're pretty good at that. They're like fucking plumbers. It's like they could go in there like a plumber, go down the drain or up the drain and fucking unclog your pipe. But other than that, there's really no validity. I've never seen a cardiologist at a fucking Kenyan dancing session over here. Right? No cardiologist on site here, and these are some of the best hearts in the world. If you did research on the people on this group right here, you would find that they all, without exception, have enlarged hearts, and not the medically bad version of an enlarged heart, but enlarged heart because the heart is a muscle and it grows when you exercise it. The more you use your body, the heart tends to grow bigger. Runners have enormous hearts. Right, and there's no heart disease here. Nobody's taking a heart attack anytime soon. Kenyan runners, they eat I don't know. Overall, they're still human. They can eat whatever they want. They can still choose whatever they want. But the diet is rather simple with the Kenyans. So what else? We got? Yeah, so this guy's stuck on medications. So here's two people. These Callie and Casey. Interviewed on Tucker. Listen to some of this stuff.
That you are a horrible parent if you even ask a question about 72 shots to your kids. And why isn't there that level of urgency around childhood nutrition?
Yeah.
Or childhood chronic disease.
Or childhood chronic disease.
Chronic disease and nutrition for kids. Why isn't there any concern there? Why is a mother, an ignorant fucking person, allowed to feed her child Fruit Loops for breakfast? That's it. Open up the box of cereal and pour the milk, the cow's milk. Pour the cow's milk on top of the Fruit Loops and call that breakfast. Right? No fruit, no banana. Right? Just milk from a cow, which isn't meant for you. Nutritionally totally opposite of what you're supposed to be eating. And Fruit Loops, which are nothing. It's sugar. It's fake. It's a man-made fucking, can't even call it a food, right? And this is what kids are feeding. So why do kids have disease? Why are kids obese? Well, that's the reason. Look no further than the diet.
Why?
And the pseudo experts that don't look at the diet, refuse to exercise. It should be mandatory. That should be a mandate for kids, right? In high schools, right, where they used to have exercise classes and gym classes. That should be. That it's not mandating like you will exercise, you fat pig, right? But mandated in the sense that it's part of the curriculum, right? It's exercise class is part of the curriculum. Diet and nutrition is part of the curriculum. Meditation is part of the curriculum, right? Every single day, if you ram home these ideas, you'll decrease the instead of lining the kids up and injecting them with who the fuck knows what, you'd have a better outcome of educating kids earlier and whipping them into shape early before it's too late.
Is it, we can't possibly expect parents not to load their kids with a bunch of sugar and all these toxic ingredients. And by the way, those people can't afford whole food. It's actually racist and classist to even suggest people should be able to afford organic food. We can't possibly expect parents, to have non-toxic food. But when it comes to pharmaceutical interventions, there's no price too high. And if you don't follow it to a T, you're a terrible person. Why is it when we have 9 out of 10 killers of Americans are preventable lifestyle conditions, when 95% of medical costs go towards reversible chronic conditions that Casey's talking about?
90%. Listen to the statistics this guy's rattling out. 90% of diseases are reversible.
And if you don't follow it to a T, you're a terrible person. Why is it when we have 9 out of 10 killers of Americans are
9 out of 10 killers of Americans are preventable lifestyle conditions? 9 out of 10
preventable lifestyle conditions, when 95% of medical costs go towards reversible chronic conditions that Casey's talking about.
Right. So 9 out of 10 9 out of 10 of these conditions are reversible, but 90% of the money goes to reversing the 1% who doesn't know how to take care of themselves and ends up sick, right? That's fucked up.
Why isn't there that urgency of the medical community educating parents about why people are getting sick?
Yeah.
And really the only vitriol.
I always wondered that. Why isn't there any nutrition education? That's why I left it as a kid. I felt, years went by and I felt like I was a failure. Oh, I didn't pursue my career as a nutritionist. But I don't know. At the time, it seemed like the thing to do was to walk away and, become something like what I'm doing now, which is talk about it, right? And broadcast it. Maybe late in life, but I'm doing it, and but I did feel like I got to tell you, honestly, I felt like a failure for years. I went to nutrition school, but I pursued it and then walked away. Right? And for good reason. At the time, I walked away because of the reasons I'm telling you, that I didn't see myself or anybody around me, optimally healthy. I saw sick people all the time, every day. Right? Everywhere I looked in that environment.
The only thing that's being censored, the only thing that's being enforced from the top down is absolute adherence to pharmaceutical products. Why during COVID, which was a metabolic condition, this was a disease that attacked weak immune systems. This was a disease that only killed people that were overweight or metabolically dysfunctional.
Right. How come that statistic isn't known by a lot of people, that most of the casualties of COVID-19 were sick people that were already on 5 and 6 medications. They were obese, right? Don't lose track of that. Don't lose sight of who died during COVID. Right? A lot of people I got COVID. I guess I did. I got sick right around that time in New York City, 2020. I got whacked like a hard fucking flu. And guess what? It went away, right? Because I was basically healthy and at that point made a decision to be even more healthy. But healthy people survived and the sick died. Right? The sick are dead. And the sickest part of the sick dying is people like Andrew Cuomo, who put the sickest of the sick in the nursing homes in New York City and killed, 10,000 old people. That's the last place you want to put infected people, is in a nursing home with the most vulnerable people. A lot of the casualties of the COVID-19 mess were medical fuck-ups, right? Intubating people when there was no proof that was going to work. Sticking tubes up people's noses and pumping air into the lung for weeks on end with a respirator, right? Damaging the lungs, right? That's how a lot of people died. Or cross-infecting them by sticking sick people where there is no sickness, like in a nursing home that's not prepared for infectious disease. It's not an infectious disease infectious control environment like a hospital. And hospitals are fucking dirty, really. Hospitals are a cesspool of germs. You want to stay out of them as best you can.
Americans died at a much higher rate than Europe.
The only time I got sick in the last 4 years is when I went to the dentist and I had 2 sets of hands in my mouth, and a few days, and the dentist was sneezing and coughing, and what happened? I got sick. That was medical intervention got me sick.
European or Asian countries. Why wasn't there the same emphasis on hardening up our immune systems and attacking the root cause of that? And it was all the airtime was around a pharmaceutical solution. This doesn't actually make sense, but it gets to the money. So working for the pharma companies, there's just nothing better than getting on the vaccine schedule. And that should not be a controversial comment, right?
Do you own your own home in Pennsylvania, but still rent your electricity? For a limited time only, homeowners in specific...
Right? If you have a list of drugs that are mandated for every single American and paid for by that government, you want to get on that schedule.
That's right.
So
Why
there's
don't it's
a battle.
Controversial?
Well, it's selling. It's selling. What the gentleman is saying, Mr. Callie Casey, and his sister, is that it's
comment. It's not allowed. It's a verboten comment. You're not allowed to say that. They will demonetize this video for what you just said.
That's right. Right. And now here's the censorship. Here's a smart guy telling you that the pharmaceutical industrial complex is trying to get you hooked on their drugs as early as possible, and all that happens is you get more sick and more dependent on the drug schedule. Right? And you're not allowed to say that, right? And this guy, one of the people on this panel is a cardiologist, is a doctor. I don't know what kind of a doctor, but she's a doctor.
And I would ask...
What does that tell?
Stanford physician.
I would ask the media companies and ask YouTube to have the same passion for childhood chronic disease and nutrition as they do for enforcing unanimity on pharmaceutical injections for kids.
So,
imagine that, right? Asking YouTube, hey, can you pay less attention to forcing pharmaceuticals on people and more towards preventing these 90% of these chronic diseases that are preventable through very, very, very simple means? Can you do that, YouTube? Can you do that, world? Can you do that, New York Times? Can you do that? No, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it because the money, Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson.
Amen. I couldn't agree more. It's infuriating.
Let's look at the markets while we're talking about it. So, ding, whoa, we're open. Market is open. And NASDAQ up 134. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 49. S&P 500 up 17. Donald J. Trump stock up 80 cents. Go, go, go. Let's see. NVIDIA down. NVIDIA beat earnings yesterday. I don't know why it's down. It's down 2. It was down another 10 yesterday. I don't know. Investors are, I guess, tired of it. Overall, NASDAQ is up. Yes, it is. And Amazon up. Everything's green. Meta, formerly Facebook, up 7. Microsoft up 8. How's the medical industrial complex stocks happening since we're talking about it? Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, all down and receding. Right? See, they need another fix. Right? The medical industrial complex, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer, they need another hit. Right? They need another toke of the pipe because, AKA, they need another disease, a new fangled disease, so that they can whip together a new drug that you can take and it'll help you. Right? It won't blow out your kidneys. Right? It's not going to work. Right? There is no pill. There is no magic elixir. It's a combination of many things, humans. It's a combination of exercise, eating right, drinking water, sleeping, right? Stop worrying about the world. You're not going to live that long anyway. You might get 70, 80, 90 years. You might get 50 years. Who knows? Right? It's not about how many years you're going to get. It's the quality of the time right now. Spend your time online at the doctor. Yes, doctor, and open your mouth. Take off your shirt. You can put all the things that a doctor can do. You can do it on your own. Right? I have my own heart monitor. I listen to my heart. I listen blood pressure. I don't have a blood pressure machine. I use the one at the supermarket. Wegmans has one. Every time I go there, the Wegmans, I use the blood pressure chair. They have a chair, and you just sit there. It seems to be pretty accurate, and you get an idea. Blood pressure is if you're within ideal body weight and you exercise and you don't eat garbage and drink a gallon of coffee, you don't have any fucking high blood pressure problems. Very, very, very rarely, right? Unless your diet is just you eat fucking pure salt. Right? You're skinny, but that's all you eat is salt, or you eat fucking candy. Right? You're 90 pounds, but all you eat is candy. Right? You can develop high blood pressure or whatever. But a normal person isn't gonna develop any of those things.
It's worse than that. It's evil. Again, video just demonetized. Worth it. But let me ask, so to the specifics of
Well,
that.
Tucker Carlson is telling you about the censorship. Tucker Carlson knows that because the doctor and his colleague talked about the medical industrial complex wanting to keep kids on these medications as early as possible, including vaccines, will get your channel demonetized. Is this video going to be monetized? Is it going to be labeled misinformation for talking about it? It's possible. I don't know. AI, if you're paying attention, hello, YouTube AI. I would like to know, is talking about the topics that we're talking about right now on Tucker Carlson's show, is this medical misinformation, or is it proper medical information for the people? You can tell me in your rebuttal.
The Hep B shot that I'm sure all my 4 children had it. I didn't even know it.
We had it.
We had it.
You
Yeah.
had it too.
Of course, yeah.
Is there just take the other side for a second.
Yeah.
Like, is there a reason that we would do this?
I pushed, I welcome any doctor to respond to this. I pushed leading medical experts on this. I'm like, okay, so a child's born, let's just take the side. The child's born. Hep B is spread by 2 routes, sexually transmitted disease or intravenous needles. So my 1-day-old isn't going to be having sex or doing heroin right away. So what?
Hold on one second. Marcus County reporting. I just want to cut the recording of the video right here. If you want to watch, I'm going to stay live. Don't go away. I just want to end the recorded version of the show right now. And if you want to watch the continuation of it, just come here on YouTube and you'll see it. Marcus Conte reporting. So I'm back.
What's the purpose of getting this on the schedule in the first day of life, the first hours of life? And if you push, and I welcome anyone to do this with their doctor, you get to 2 things. You get to the American patients are too stupid to remember, so we need to do it right away. That's literally like what they say. And then my doctor told me that the child at daycare could trip over a needle that has hepatitis B on it.
The child at daycare can trip over a needle that has hepatitis B on it. That is the equivalent of getting struck by lightning 5 times in one lifetime. Right? There are no hepatitis B infected needles where a child can step on it. Has that ever happened in history, in human history? No, it doesn't fucking happen like that. Right? It doesn't happen. Right? Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. You don't, walk around barefoot, in a drug neighborhood, or flip through the garbage of, in the projects. You don't do that. I learned that as a sanitation cop. You don't fucking open anybody's garbage bag, right? You stick your hand in that garbage bag, you're on your own.
That's literally what they get to. That a needle could be on the playground, that somebody just did heroin or something, threw the needle down, and it has hepatitis B blood on it. I asked the doctor, has there ever been in human history a case of hepatitis B being transferred that way? They said no. That it's only through intravenous needles and sex. So
All right. So what he's saying is that they inject kids with a hepatitis B vaccine at birth. Why?
You actually, to steelman this, and again, welcome anyone to respond, there's not actually a scenario, absent of intravenous needles or sex, that a person gets hepatitis B. There is not a reason for this to be given. But it happened, and I saw this. It was a huge investment for this vaccine. It was
a vaccine. They give a hepatitis B vaccine to children at birth without any consent, right? You're just going to get shot up with this shit, right? And then why do you have all of these childhood chronic diseases? They're on these vaccine schedules, and autism, a new phenomena in child growth. As a kid, I never met anybody who had autism. I never knew anybody in the neighborhood who had autism. Now it's like 1 out of 30 people. It used to be 1 in 5,000 or 1,500. Now it's 1 in 30. Right? That's a lot. If you go to a high school with 300 kids or 3,000 kids, that means 30 kids in that class have autism. That's fucking wild, right? It's crazy. And I'm not talking about the extreme types of autism. which I believe there are, very extreme where people can't function. But what else are you going to point to? What's causing it? The environmental, fucking blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the pollution in the water. Yeah. Highly processed foods. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right. And the medical intervention. Absolutely.
Is a huge economic problem. And this shouldn't be controversial. Think about being at these drug companies. You want the drug given out when you've made the investment. So they're able to
swaths of the science that I wasn't seeing.
But so can I just ask a very fundamental question? Why would we follow the guidelines rather than the outcomes?
It's a great question.
So you just said 5 minutes ago, you were outlining this terrifying and sad and catastrophic series of stats.
Sorry about that.
Describing the total collapse of public health in the United States.
Another minute and I'll wrap it up.
And so who cares what the guidelines are? Doesn't anyone just sort of zoom out for a second and be like, all these kids have diabetes, which leads to dementia. Like this is not working.
Right.
Did no one say that?
Well, the question, it's not working, is the question I would basically put in front of every doctor in America. Like if you're not looking around you and just scratching your head and saying, what the hell is going on?
Yes.
Then you are profiting off of this crisis, and I want the most dangerous thing you can do in America right now, obviously, is ask the question, why? So, I understand.
About anything.
But, this is just a point to kind of answer your question about why is this happening? Why aren't we following outcomes? It's institutionalized to not actually focus on outcomes because the business model of the healthcare system is volume. It's how many patients can you see, not what their outcomes are. We are paid for volume, not outcomes. Now,
did you see that as a surgeon?
So absolutely. I mean, it's how many chart notes can you write and bill every day? That's why doctors are seeing 30 to 40 patients a day with 15 different diagnoses for each one. Obviously, you can't help that patient thrive and get healthier. All you can do is write the prescription because we are paid for volume. And the unofficial mantra of all
doctors must know that.
All doctors know. The unofficial mantra of private practice medicine is you eat what you kill, which means you get paid, you eat for how much volume you can do, how many surgeries you can sell, how many people you can get through in and out of your office. Now, back in when Obamacare was coming about, they were, which was really an utter failure. There was lip service that was paid to this idea of value-based care, okay, which sounds great on paper, right? So value is good outcomes over lower cost. This sounds great. We'll